5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to BZTV. My name is Garen, and today I want to bring to you a Lone Star disc. It's actually a disc golf company that started manufacturing their own disc and called Lone Star Disc, LSD. They've sent me a box full of discs to try out. Said I would do a review on them. Obviously we have discs of our own, but being a fellow Texas company and really just a new disc golf company, I wanted to give them a little bit of love, some shout outs. I love whenever new manufacturers, new companies, whether it's a disc golf company or a clothing company comes out with new stuff. So we have the one I'm going to talk about today is the Harpoon. I have it in two different plastics. The V2 is kind of like a rubberized plastic, feels kind of like a putter plastic if you will. And then you've got the Alpha plastic, which is more like I guess like a Champion plastic, a little bit softer maybe, but like a Champion plastic. They sent me, let's go over these real quick before I get into details. So Lone Star Disc is out of Texas. They have a Mockingbird, a penny putter. This is a Mad Cat, a Curl, a Glow penny putter. This looks like a Glow as well. Not sure what that is. This is very intriguing. The Jackrabbit, it's a putter. Understand it's very overstable for a putter. Feels very rounded on the edge. Can't wait to try this one out. Haven't thrown any of these except for the Harpoon. This is the Armadillo. I see a lot of people posting about the Armadillo. Very native to Texas. We have a lot of armadillos around here, but this feels like it's gonna be overstable, almost like a tank maybe. And we'll test that one out at some point as well. Then we got this one. This no name. I think this is their like a prototype. They have a new driver coming out. Feels like about 11 speed, kind of like a Wraithish, but I don't see a name on it. We have the Bowie, I think. Yep, the Bowie driver. Feels really good. Premium plastic feels great. Feels like a premium plastic from Prodigy or like a nice Star plastic from Innova. The last one I have in the bottom here is it says the MIDI. I guess that's the name. It's in Bravo plastic. Also feels good. Let's get right to what you came for. Let's get right into it. All right, so we have the Harpoon by LSD discs, Lone Star discs. These plastics couldn't be more different. As you know, whenever you buy discs in different plastics, even sometimes different colors, they fly differently. They have more of a dome, less of a dome. Just they feel different sometimes, but definitely flight characteristics change. No difference here. Matter of fact, this might be one of the biggest differences in two different plastics I've actually tried before. So the Harpoon is a mid-range. It's a 4302 if you watch your numbers or check out numbers. Definitely don't fit in that category between the two, maybe an average of these two here. What they call the V2 plastic feels like a rubber plastic, like you might find like a Gateway putter or some of our putters, the Warhammer and the Chainsaw. Feels really good, really chalky rubber, so it feels very grippy, whether it's wet outside, sandy, it feels like this is gonna like stay on your fingers. This one's this is what they call the Alpha plastic. It is more like a softer Champion, maybe just say a Champion plastic, definitely premium. This one flies less stable than this one. It might have to do with the look of the disc or how flat top this one is with the rubberized, get that right, the V2 versus the Alpha. This one flies, the premium plastic flies a lot like a Meteor, a Fuse, or even the Crossbow from Black Zombie. They're very similar discs. I'm going to throw a couple times here. I got a little bit of a headwind more than what I had started with, so this will be interesting. The V2 plastic definitely is a more stable, feels like a fast but no carry disc, so it's not going to have a lot of glide. So I'm going to throw these and I'll show you the difference in the distance here and how they have the flight. Hopefully you can see these flights. I'm going to throw the premium plastic, the Champion plastic, the Alpha first. Now it says it's a 4302. That really it does feel like a 4-speed, maybe 4.5. Feels like more of a 4 glide. That plastic, maybe a little bit of poppy top, feels like it's gliding more. That's why it feels closer to like the Meteor, the Fuse, the Crossbow, where they have like, you know, more of a 5 glide. This may not have the 5, but I would put it more to 4, at least in that plastic. And we're talking about the V2. Now watch the difference in this one. I'm gonna try throwing the same flat angle so you'll be able to see the difference and how it comes out as a hyzer at the end. I was a little bit off camera, but definitely threw it. I threw it a little bit too low as well, but actually came out pretty quick out of the hand, really. So you can feel like wanting to knife in. I think that'd be a good disc. Knowing it's going to turn back left. Obviously got a headwind here, works great in that. I'm going to throw these a couple times so you can see the flight numbers there. All right, so let's throw the crossbow first. Try to get the same flight, a little bit flat like I did earlier, so you can see this. Went all the way to the fence. You can tell that has more glide than the Harpoon. Has a similar flight if they're a little bit more nose up and a little bit higher, but still have the similar flight to it. I want to throw, there we go. Let's do a Fuse. The Fuse is one of my favorite mid-ranges. I go back and forth between a Fuse and a crossbow, but they have very similar flight patterns. Definitely on the less stable side. The crossbow, when I throw it, it's more like for a slight headwind, or if I want to go more straight, then turn left. Fuses are great for crushing them to where it's going to come off to the right side. And I'm thinking that Harpoon and that premium plastic is going to be that shot, kind of just like the crossbow. Let's do one more. I think I've got, how about for fun, let's throw a Tersis. Tersis are very understable, give you an idea of what an understable disc does, where I'm going to throw it more of a hyzery, but it's going to flip up and flip over. And that would have gone over the fence if it wasn't for that tree. All right, let's do this again. Let's throw the Harpoons, try to get on that same flat line. I want you guys to see and appreciate how these are flying. But before I throw it this next time, let's go over the kind of the feel of the disc. So the Harpoon by Lone Star Disc feels good. It's a little bit more shallow than for my liking, but if you like a shallow disc, it does feel good and smooth around the edges, but it is a little more shallow. It's kind of, Fuse can be shallow too, but it's a little bit more shallow than a Fuse. So gripping it, I have to put more of a fan grip on the bottom of it to really hold on to it good. Because the Harpoon in the V2 plastic is flatter, feels even more so like I have to, you know, put my pinky and my first finger here there to hold on to it. So I hold them a little bit different just because they feel different, a little bit different on the flight plate there. Let's check out the flight here. This is the one that I said throws more like a Meteor, a Fuse, or a crossbow. Slight headwind. Release that a little bit on hyzer, but you got the idea. It's like held the hyzer line, came in smooth. It's very crossbow-like. Crossbow's probably a little bit more stable than that disc is. Then we have the V2. Trying to learn this plastic. The V2, this is the one that's more stable. Try to give it a little bit more. Matter of fact, I'm going to give it a little more of a Annie to give you an idea of how much it fights to come back. This is a good headwind disc. Matter of fact, I was putting with this earlier, and the putting aspect of it, like it feels kind of a putter-ish. Feels really good as a putter disc. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this could work as a putter for some people who like a low-profile putter. It is a 4-speed, not quite the putter, but I was nailing some putts. Felt really good. Finger like just touches the front end just right and grip it good. So Harpoon could not just be mid-range, but could be your putting, especially if it's a headwind putt. All right, let's see. Not sure if that came out very much Annie. I threw it flatter, but you could see how it fought back. Definitely more stable. That's going to be more like a Zone or a Gator. Still a little more stable than the Shotgun from Black Zombie. Let's do this. I want to go over a little bit of stability here, a little bit of extra bonus action. So I do love the Tersis. I don't throw it too often just because it's not a disc that is needed for a lot of shots, and it's very touchy. A little too touchy probably in the wind here, but I'm going to show you what it means to have an understable disc when you throw it, meaning that it's gonna, when I release it right hand backhand, it's gonna flip up to flat and probably turn over the right, especially the headwind. But you can put just a little bit of speed on it and it actually will stay straight or turn to the right. So if you need a disc that turns right, you find a lot of your discs dumping out to the left. Terse, especially for beginners, people with a soft arm speed like myself, more of a smooth thrower, these, controlled wise, can be great. See if I can do this without throwing over the fence. Not a very good example because I kind of threw that kind of in the ground. Same thing, terse is a little more stable in this one. Yeah, so I hit the fence, didn't even try very hard. If you want some good distance, if you don't have a lot of arm speed, that terse is an amazing disc. All right, let's go into crossbow. It's on top. So the crossbow is a understable mid-range from Black Zombie, and it's going to throw very similarly, a little bit more stability to it than the Harpoon. A little bit deeper, feels more like a rock when the Harpoon has an edge, kind of more like the Fuse, maybe even like a Buzz. The crossbow has more of a feel like the rock does. Do that a little bit Annie, a little bit high. So kind of have the same kind of flight. Fuse, this is an older Fuse. The newer ones, of course, well, I shouldn't even say that. Some of the Johnny fuses that I got still are understable, but this is the Jesper Lundmark. This is like, I don't know, 6 years old, but a little bit flatter, understable. Let's see what happens when I throw it flat. Or if I yank it and hit a tree. All right, so we threw a few of those Harpoons, a few of the discs to kind of show you the flight characteristics here. It's a good opportunity for me to talk to you about stability, since these two Harpoons are very different even though it's the same disc. One's alpha plastic, one's a V2. V2 is a lot more stable, feels very different. The alpha is more like a champion plastic. It's more straight like a Meteor or a crossbow or a Fuse. This is going to be more like the V2 is going to be more like a Gator or a Zone. Very stable, it's going to handle headwinds. This is, I would say, something you could consider a low-profile putter. It is a 4-speed, but I would almost put it in that putter category. I don't know if I'm going to putt with it, but I might try it out for some headwind putts because sometimes those 20, 25-mile-an-hour headwind putts, this just cuts the wind so much better than the putter that has more of a nub nose. This is a little bit sharper, so this actually might become a staple in my bag, not for a mid-range, but for that utility shot for a putter, for a nose, for a headwind putter. So let's try these out. Let's go with the alpha plastic first. See if I can throw a flat shot again. Give you an idea of the Harpoon. Kind of what I did earlier. We're a little bit worried about throwing it flat and going Anheuser and it dipping over. It's a little bit not finicky per se, but in the headwind you can get it taken away from you where it's going to like turn a little bit to the right. So let's do this one, see if I can throw it a little bit flatter for sure because we know it's coming back. I threw that one on hyzer, but again you can see how it just kind of fights itself back to the left. And let's do a crossbow. Crossbow is just one of those discs that's you put it on line, it stays there. Whether it's Anheuser, hyzer, I threw that one pretty flat. It stayed straight. It's kind of becoming more and more of my go-to disc. I still love the Buzz. The Buzz, when it slows down, it turns in harder at the end, so I use it for those shots. If I want just a straight shot that lands softer, I'll do the crossbow. Fuse, this is the shot. I use the Fuse when I throw a hard shot, flat or baby hyzer shot that's going to flip up and even start drifting to the right for a right turning shot. I'm going to try to throw this a little softer, flat, give you an idea of the characteristics, how it flies straight. It's actually good. I released it correctly, flatter. I didn't mean for it to go that much to the right, but it gives you an idea of like what the Fuse is kind of made to do. Like if you are a new player or softer arm speed, that might still be a good disc to go straight, still turn left. If you throw it a little bit faster, it's a great disc to hold that line and just kind of fade to the right, just barely. Throw it hard, it'll do it pretty hard. Okay, last two things I'll throw. Again, the Tersis, feels like a Tersis commercial, but the Tersis is neat, especially if you're a new player, you haven't played. Grab a Tersis, it's a good practice disc, even if it doesn't turn into a disc you like to play with. I throw it on certain shots. I need it to hyzer flip, something that's going to turn right for sure. But this handles slow arm speeds very well, so you can still get that distance, and it's a mid-range. The numbers on this are 5, 5, -3, 1, which is pretty fair. Threw that low, but it started doing its turn. I'll try to throw this a little bit higher. I'm worried about that fence, because once you start carrying, especially that wind, it's going to fly over that fence. And that might go over the fence. Yep, that's over the fence. Well, that's a good way to end the video. Thanks for checking this out and listen to what I had to talk about on the U-Disc from Lone Star. And I have more here, like I talked about at the beginning. I'll roll these out, talk about them, kind of compare them to other discs you might already play with, and just give them a little bit of limelight here in Texas. Thank you very much. Be sure to subscribe and follow us, like us, make comments below. If there's something else you want us to put in the videos, let me know. Thank you.